Welcome back, everybody. Our final matchup of this evening is about to begin. MNM versus Wolves. And we set ourselves up for this final matchup that could actually be more surprising than you may think. I'm Alex, your host for the show. With me are Fresh and Fabian, who has sat down because he needed to breathe after that last game. Make sure you tune in back and watch what happened, because I won't spoil it for you here. That'll be until the end of the show. Let's talk about our squads and what they have to offer. MNM, Fabian, what are you thinking?
So, you say this is going to be a game of surprises. I don't know if it's going to be surprises. I think both of these squads are really strong rosters that can really show up on match day. And we saw MNM in the end of the last stage. They turned a game the game against Rogue, they turned around. They were down 6-3. They came back, and we saw Rogue just smashing another top contender. So MNM can really do anything. Their players are showing up. They have 3 players that we know can show up on the scoreboard on fragging part. But overall, they have a team structure. They play the game in a way that it basically is step after step. We do our parts, and then we have the fragging power to back that up.
The Achilles heel that they have is that they're a very reactionary team. And what I mean by that is that you see the fact that they had to go 6-3 down to actually perform a comeback, to actually change how they were playing, to sort themselves out. And they've always done this. They've always had this kind of a few rounds where they don't quite know what their opponent's going to do in the first 3 rounds of a half, but once they've seen it, they are so good at reacting to it and changing their playstyle accordingly.
So what happens then on the other side with the Wolves, Jack?
Well, Wolves are exceptional. I would say them and Heroic, currently based on Playday 1, were the best 2 teams out of Playday 1 in the league. And the one thing that I loved about Wolves is how dynamic they are, how much they set up themselves in their team play to create advantageous scenarios. There was a couple of scenarios in G2 where, when they played against G2, on the rare occasions that G2 had set up a 2v1 crossfire on one player, I think it was on P4, he called Bibu, and he called, I can't remember who the other player was, but he called 2 more players, and they formulated a plan within 5-10 seconds, created a 3v2 advantageous scenario, and got 2 kills. When Mowgli's droned in, he's been droned in by 2 people and a player supporting. They hunt in a pack, and they usually achieve their objectives because they're also very skilled players.
They have an overall team that has aggressive players, but a lot of brains. And I think that them changing their communication back to French have really given them the opportunity to communicate that they want to. And I think that going English for them probably was a mistake in looking back at it now. I'm excited to watch them play because they play a very enjoyable Siege.
And I want to talk about Rise, because Rise went, 0-12, and he got a really, really low rating, in the standings and the EPS. So we're going to bring up the player highlight, and this is going to look horrific. The lowest EPS, I think, probably that we've ever seen. But I went back and I watched Rise's point of view of every single round and how he died. And on defense, 0-6, obviously, and he was baiting himself for his teammates to get kills. On attack, though, I want to show you a couple of clips from Rise's gameplay. So if we can bring the clips up and just roll them straight away, production. What you will see is that Rise basically wins his team. Bear in mind that they only won 7-5. He wins them around solo based on his drone play. First drone, down the main stairs, spots out the castle. Now, it's other team members that go and communicate and go and sort out the castle. It's Bibu who drops down the hatch eventually, and you'll see this now. Bibu and another player drop the hatch. Eventually, the castle dies. So you might say, sure, just basic information, has just done the drone work that he's supposed to do. It's resulted in a kill. This drone work here, watch this. Spots 1 person on the hatch, spots 2 people playing the Kansan position, I now call it, and looks through the holes and spots the 4th person. He's droned all 4 people in sight, exact positions, double-checked. Now watch what that information does for Bibu. Watch how Bibu reacts to this information. Now, Rise might have got 0 kills, but he directly gets Bibu these 2 kills. Bibu, nade the hatch, you will get a freebie. Bibu, nade the Kansan position, you will get another freebie. Bibu was like, okay, I'll take the free MVP. And then also, I think it's P4, I will double check, it's Shinka, who then gets the kill onto, I think it's Doki playing. All of those positions exactly known, all 4 of those kills exactly known because of Rise's drone work. So as much as we can track stats in KD, sometimes it just doesn't matter.
Kind of funny how he has EPS of 35, just the same as his age.
Is he 35?
Nah, he's like 29, I think.
Yeah, he's like our age.
Yeah, he's a boomer. That's all I'll say.
In
But
general.
these are the sort of things that casual players don't always get to see, and they don't always. I'm not talking about viewers just watching Pro League. It's players as well. People don't realize how much drone work actually does for your team. And if you use your microphone and sometimes your drones, I think a lot of players would see more success when they're playing on their own, but also understanding the fundamentals on how to competitively play Siege.
So our map for this series, which will it be? Our final one for today in EUL Day 2 of Stage 2 2022. And we are left with Villa at the end. MNM will get the choice to start off on attack. Wolves have picked defense. Jack, your thoughts?
MNM like this map traditionally. It's in their top 3. I have it as their first rated preference map, 54% win rate. But Wolves are no slouch on it either. I think it's their 4th preference map as well. So both teams play it, both teams like it.
It's a good map for both teams, and I think it's going to bring out the playstyle that we want to see as spectators, because we have Wolves playing aggressive and fast, and MNM, they have kind of the opposite of that, playing more kind of basic, but add on top of that, very good reactions to what their opponents are doing. So I think we're going to be up for a really good matchup.
You think so?
I agree. I think MNM have that clutch ability factor. I think they've got the Achilles heel of playing reactionary, and I think they've got an Achilles heel that their backline is a little bit less, quote-unquote, good than what Wolves is, but I think it's a very evenly matched.
Let's see if we'll get a banger to finish up our day. Thank you very much, Fabian and Fresh. We'll toss it to our casters, Hab and Tim, to take you through Wolves and MNM.
Thank you very much, Milosh. We are here for the final game, Hap, and it is a rare day that I get the treat of casting alongside you, but I'm looking forward to it.
But I'm not usually sitting on this side.
I had to do that the other week when I cast with Emmy, and it's the weirdest thing, isn't it?
Why am I sitting here out of nowhere? What's going on?
Yeah,
But
it really messes you up.
it does, slightly.
Don't worry, I'll look after you, Hap.
Thank you. I might get lost on this.
I get the feeling you know your way around a casting desk, Hap. You've been here once or twice before.
I've been here once or twice before, that's definitely true, and I've been on Villa once or twice before as well, so we'll be not getting lost over there. MNM up against the Wolves after we had a very, very quick game just a couple of seconds ago. Let's see if this one will be a little bit of a closer one.
I get the feeling that it will be.
I have a feeling as well.
I think we're going to see a hard-fought one between these two on Villa. Nock is going to be our first attacker ban. MNM will join in. We've had some funky bans coming in from MNM over their last few games, last week as well. They're not scared of throwing a little curveball in there. Finker is going to start us off, which is not too unusual now.
It's not too unusual now. The LMG, big discussion point lately on the TL. Also, the grenades that are getting brought out are problematic. Well, not problematic, but in combination with the heals, in combination with the LMG and the Gun 6, a lot of utility in the pockets of just a single operator. So Finker being removed is going to be making that attack just slightly harder. The Valkyrie being the last one as well, just like the Izami. Now, Izami either is a hit or miss currently. We've seen it being used quite a bit on Cafe during the plays we've seen earlier. Worked out well once or twice, but wasn't actually the all-decisive change people thought was necessary to make the defense all-powerful again.
Well then, we're going to be heading into round number 1. Wolves will kick us off on the defence, so we may, if statistics prove to be correct, expect Wolves to be coming away with a 4-2 half. That's really going to be the minimum that I would expect them to be happy with here. They're going to kick off in Aviator games. We've got a pretty standard setup going on so far. We've got the rotation, we've got the shield onto maps, we've got P4 setting up out in Master Trophy statuary area. So it's all down to just where does the MNM push come from. Will they go for the full north-sided attack, get themselves established and move through for a map store push, or are they going to apply a little bit of pressure onto Study as well?
It's going to be a big ask that we have during this round. What kind of a push will it be? Often we do see a bit of priority towards those main stairs, just the clear coming out throughout that area that you can take Study as a result as well and push your ways up. The other way would be to indeed go from that bedroom. So Solotov is pushing up here, seems to be all alone for now. The rest of MNM is looking to go for the bedroom area. And I understand that Solotov is playing here. You want someone generally to cover up the Study, so no defender can play there safely. and rotate around, especially if you're pushing in landing. You want to plant right behind the vault door. If there's no one blocking our study, someone can just easily come in and sweep up that diffuser.
We know how good Solotov is, and him playing solo isn't really going to be too much of a challenge for him. He's going to be able to take those gunfights and be able to push on in. That's not going to bother him too much. But MNM getting themselves established pretty well, pretty quickly here. Bathroom, Astro is theirs. They're going to be pushing through into Trophy Statuary any time now, and the way ahead of them is pretty much clear. Rotero drones going in as well, looking to clear out utility. Just open up that rotate through into Statuary. Just ensure that nobody's able to play in there comfortably. And had Bibu still been around there, P4 as well was in that area to begin with. He's dropped away a long time ago, and that's something that MNM need to pick up on. They need to be finding him on the drones because he's down there. He doesn't have... he does have a nade in hand. Not a nade, a nitro. He was potentially going to be able to get underneath and do them some harm, so they need to be picking up on P4.
Just hiding below now, near those main stairs. Currently no pressure coming down there. MNM not showing any will to take that. And Solotov finds that very first kill. Mowgli, the magician, taken off the board early. The alibi gone. It's a high rate of fire gun, which often does provide for some late round spots, especially if those prismas start coming into play.
MNM are looking pretty good here. They've got themselves the opener. They've got themselves the north side. As I say, it's really now just about these flanks. They need to locate Bibu and they need to locate P4 underneath. They need to be aware of them. They don't necessarily need to go and kill them, but they need to know where they are. Rise already having a better week this week in kills than he did last week. He's got himself one, and I'm sure plenty of people will be happy. Rise, joking aside, did a lot of unbelievable work for Wolves last week. Kills are not everything in this game, and Rise made some real contributions, but I'm sure he's going to be happy to have one to his name so he doesn't have to listen to that again. Tyrant is on the hunt of P4 underneath. P4, he just manages to wriggle away, Hap.
Yeah, he just snuck out. Indeed, Tyrant might be aware of the fact that he still hasn't rotated back up, and that means at least one currently offside. But there is a second. Bibu up on those red stairs, could easily sneak up at this very given moment, but Tyrant coming up as well as the plant's going down. This could go very badly here.
Bibu's got caught out on the flank there. Nello manages to get the plant down, but will get killed straight away after, and this is looking good for Wolves on the retake. Tyrant, however, manages to find Bibu, finishes him off on the red stairs, leaves us now in a 3v2. It's up to him and Neo to hold on to this. Wolves haven't taken the chance yet of going in there and trying to go for that plant. The floor's opened up underneath it. There's an up nade potentially ready to be released as well. This is not going to be easy. Rise, he's going to try and stick this. He's going for the plant now. He needs P4 on the cover. He finds him, and that is fantastic play from Wolves. They close out the round. Rise with the disable of the diffuser, and that was wonderful cover on the retake.
The piano kill important there because the grenade was about to start flying up and destroy Rise there, who was trying to go for that defuse. So well played there by Wolves. Some good cover coming in at the very right timing. And with that, that first round on the board. Trophy coming up next. It's basically where the attack started to emerge from in that very first round, the one we just previously saw. Let's see if this time that is going to be the complete opposite, or if they still want to go from that bedroom area. At least a lot of holes are being opened up vertically next to the breach, and that is something we do not often see anymore. For those of you who have been watching Siege for a long time, you probably know as of why that is, and that is of course to deny any breach that goes onto that wall, to try and shoot it out from underneath or impact it from underneath, something like that, and generally make the person, if they're coming next to it, afraid of someone potentially being below it.
That's it, just makes it difficult. If you're coming in on Thermite, for example, you don't want to go and stand on top of that area. As it is, they've got the Hibana. They've probably recognised that. Nello switches out, and they can do that from distance, but as you say, there's still the threat then from underneath that it could be shot off, that you could be wasting that utility. So it just means MNM have to burn time. They have to go in, they have to take control of dining and kitchen. They have to make sure that they're not going to have that challenge coming through from underneath. So smart play from Wolves. We'll see how well they lean into this, because of course they could catch MNM out as they go for that ground floor possession that they're going to be wanting to find. We've got the Gemini decoy just running across to begin with, just trying to draw things out there, but Wolves, they are getting a little bit loosey-goosey around the map here, and they are getting themselves in amongst it on that ground floor.
Turn, I believe, getting spotted there, but a Prisma that was just tossed up. Indeed, you see some pinks coming out. P4 sees one walk by, misses the opportunity.
That recoil.
Yeah, exactly. The SMG-11 not really kind of full on sprays. Wasn't quite able to connect to Tyrant fully.
Just missing out there, Mowgli. He's going to be downed again. He was the entry death last time around, and he manages to just scoot himself away from that nade, but I'm not sure there's going to be a safe opportunity to pick him up. P4 running a gauntlet there, taking shots along the way, sprints straight past Mowgli and leaves him down on the deck. Mowgli at the minute is just going to be used as a pair of eyes. He's just a mobile camera. He can feed any information in should player push from that side. He's just trying to get himself in safe behind that wall. He might just make it. Rise has to go now. But no! Solotov gets the opener again onto Mowgli.
So unfortunate there. He was so close to being picked up, but unfortunately, he was left to die, left to bleed for too long by his team. And with that, the entry kill comes in quite late after the very first engagement. Minute 20 left on that clock. Slowly, the Aviators and games are being taken under control of MNM, but it's not what they need to go for. Trophy Stat Tree is next, and as Users is looking to go in around the bedroom side, it's P4 that jumps in right after him. He swaps off the grenade back onto the L85, and Users somehow able to still win that gunfight.
That's it. P4's going to go for that jump out. He has to find that kill. Can't be giving his life away there, leaving them in a 5 versus 3. Bibu manages to find Tyrant, and that's going to be a little of an alarm bell for MNM here. They now know that they've got Bibu potentially on the flank. They need to deal with that threat, but they might not have time to do so. 45 seconds left to go. I'm not sure they know about Rise inside a bathroom here. He's going to ignore those ex-Kairos pellets because it's going to be an easy spray down for him. He manages to find the Hibana. Users. He gets Bibu elsewhere. 30 seconds left to go. 2v2.
We'll have the control of the bedroom now as well. 2 players around the statuary area. Rise has a small opening to work with, but it's not going to be enough to actually get that diffuser down. He's smoking us as Mike, though, as the plant is coming through. The force of the plant, a lot of chip damage done towards Neo. The force back Neo even lower here, but he managed to get the kill. And now they're pushing to the trophy area. Rise swaps over, gets an injure, needs to swap to the pistol, gets the second as well. Rise clutches it out, and after he had 0 kills after last week's game, he instantly wins this round in round number 2.
I'll tell you what, there'll be a few people made comments about Rise last week after 0-12, but I think they're going to be pretty quiet this week after the first 2 rounds that he's had there. Big kill and a nice double in a 1v2 to finish it off, switching for the pistol headshot to get that final kill. Beautiful play from Wolves, sees them on a 2-0. And the thing is, you could almost feel a little hard done to for MNM here, because this is Wolves just playing very well at the minute. They're taking opportunities that are in front of them, and you sort of feel like, you know what, it doesn't really matter what MNM do right or wrong at the minute, because it's Wolves that are dictating this game.
They started off well, they got the entry, they got some control, but after that, I mean, first of all, the jump out, perfectly punished by MNM, we have to say. It was a sledgehammer with a grenade, was able to swap to the L85 in the middle of that jump out and win the gunfight. It almost happened a second time again when we saw the swing into the Hibana, who had the Excalibur launcher out, was able to go prone, swap back to the main rifle, but just not in time to actually get the kill. Both of those instances could have gone wrong, only one did in the end, and that is partially the reason why we do see the O2 currently on the side of Wolves. But if we're being honest, that round could have been a lot more decisive if that first jump out did go the way of Wolves.
Yeah, P4 taking a couple of risks in that round, but ultimately paying off, shall we say. I mean, his little run past Aviator Games, I thought, was a much bigger risk than his jump out. There was nothing really to be gained. I think his initial thoughts was he wanted to get to the downed Mowgli to try and pick him up, but then he realised how perilous it was with the holes that have been opened up in the walls. Now then, is the drone going to spot? Yes, the drone picks up the Malusi, so that's going to be P4 looking to get out of there. That's a dead end, P4. You don't want to run yourself into there. Get yourself away. It's time to relocate, because the challenge is likely to be coming in very quickly. Neo smart to use the air jabs on those basement stairs and just prevent P4 from returning, at least returning unknown.
Yeah, for sure, you will have to fire a shot at the air jab to make sure he doesn't get blasted off, but he might want to hide in that dead end because they might not really be checking it. They expect him to go back up. Now he has been spotted. If he doesn't, he has the opportunity to continue roaming around and maybe coming for a very late flank as the library is starting to get hit, or the living room, whichever one you want to call it. So he's still playing down there, and that gives him the potential to go for an executor for a flank laid on and stop MNM dead in their tracks.
Mowgli just going to be holding himself outside of maps at the minute. MNM making good progress, at least in kitchen and dining. The site, of course, is living room and library. So if they want vertical control, they need to be taking over 90 corridor and games room in particular. And that is where Wolves, for the time being, are hunkering down and looking to hold on to. They've got utility to play behind. The drones are coming in to feed information back. Mowgli manages to take one of those out. Only 3 drones remaining on the side of MNM, so they're a little bit short on information here. Happen Mowgli, he makes them a little bit short on bodies as he manages to find a headshot onto Solotov, gets his revenge. That is the reverse of the opening 2-round entry kills.
P4 finding one of the air jets, still needs to find a second, but he's waiting to see if he had been heard. In the meantime, MNM is looking to go for a plant right into the living area. Rise is quite close, could be going for a bit of a swing, but the cover should be there on the side of users when Nello does decide to go in. So at this moment, P4 needs to start pushing, but it seems like it has been heard as Tyrant is coming up close.
That's it, P4 dips himself back down into the basement. He's going to move around, he's going to try and find a different flank. Bibu manages to take down users. Could be difficult for MNM to get a plant down here with a lack of vertical cover. Rise manages to find Nello. Neo shuts down Mowgli, but it could be too little too late. 4v2, 25 seconds left to go. Neo with a nice kill onto P4 for 3v2. Time for MNM to think about getting into this site though, but the problem that they've got is Bibu up above. He knows where the diffuser is. He's going to sit and play it, and this is surely round over as we see another player down, another player out. Tyrant shut down, and there rain the shots onto Neo. He manages to make a grab for the diffuser, but shut down by that man again. It's Rise, it's kill number 4, and he is having a better day.
I believe he's 8-0 right now. Do you guess he's going to go for the 12-0?
That's it. Just go for it.
He's just going to go for the complete reverse.
8-0.
Fresh is loving it. He's completely going wild. But it's like he's absolutely unstoppable right now. Took that personal last week when he said...
I think he's here to prove a point up.
He's here to prove a point. It's like Villa is more on my map. We'll be able to get a better performance out that way. And as we headed back towards the AVGs, because we continued and completed a complete rotation, we start all over again.
This is looking very reminiscent of the last game that we've just watched happen.
No, don't say that.
It is very, very one-sided, just as Rogue was against G2 Wolves. Honestly, I'd said, me and Fresh were talking on the way here, as we often do. We quite often walk to the studio together. And we were chatting about it, and I said it wouldn't surprise me to see Wolves and Rogue as the top 2 come the end of the stage.
Wouldn't surprise me either. Throw Heroic into the mix as well for the top 3.
I put them up there with BDS. Wolves, Rogue, BDS, Heroic as my top 4.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. But I wouldn't put MNM up with G2 because MNM is trying to work together.
It's a fair point.
It's a bit of a difference,
it's
right?
It's a fair point.
Yeah. Either way, AVGs again. MNM deciding to all spawn over there, but I'm not quite sure if they will go for a continued and unified execute from this side. I doubt they're all going to be jumping through that window. However, they might be trying to actually go for a bit of a rush here, possibly. They're all lined up. Opening the window. They're still all out there. Smokes are coming out. They're definitely going for a Tyrant is in.
Noah's going to be following as well. Diffuser in hand. There could be an opportunity. Mowgli goes in, gets shut down. We have one kill going either direction, 4v4. But Noah, he's putting this plant down. P4 is not in a position to prevent it. Out goes the knife. Is it in time? No! He gets the double, but the diffuser still goes down. There's an opportunity for Neo and Solotov to hang on here. Solotov's on the rappel. He's going to be watching from zombie window there, just trying to close down anybody who comes back in from red stairs. But that's the critical kill. Bibu finds Neo, and now there is nothing that can be done here. They're just going to hold on to the window. There you go, people. No! Solotov manages to get in, but he can't find the kill in time. Somehow managing to gun the man down during the animation, but it just wasn't enough for MNM. Wolves are 4-0 up.
This round is a roller coaster. First, I'm like, they're definitely not all going to be jumping through that window. Next thing, they do all jump through that window. They do get the plant off after they do manage to find Mowgli. Then a C4 comes in. It was 0.1 second too late to stop the plant from going through. And then the jump in somehow survives, but just too late to actually get the headshot. It's a roller coaster of a round. The Wolves managed to win it either way, and now they're headed towards the kitchen. It's a site we haven't seen yet. And the top 4 will be definitely contested by the side of MNM. But losing a round like that must be demoralizing just a little bit. I mean, they got the plant off.
It's the double nitro that's really going to break you, isn't it?
I mean, you got to watch the spacing. It's bound to happen, especially if you know people are downstairs. A nitro is going to be coming in. You do not want to be in range of both being picked up.
It was great recognition from Wolves. If you remember at the beginning of the game, last time that they defended that site, I commented on exactly that. P4 playing underneath, he was in living room library. I think it was the trophy statuary defense, actually. And I said, you know, Wolves need to be careful that they're picking him up. He's going to play down there with the nitro. He's looking for vertical kills. So that was always why he was down there, not specifically to stop a rush. They wouldn't have known that was coming. But the recognition from Wolves that that's what was happening, that the plant was going to be going down in that location, that was really good.
Especially because they realized, all right, they're only in near default area. They're planting right behind the roof table because they didn't get much further. You just go for the blind toss. You trust on that. It's like, okay, that's the call you have made. I haven't seen it myself. I'm just going to throw it up. I'm going to send it and see what we can go for. And the double was found. Unfortunately, not the cancel onto the diffuser, but I think the cancel on the diffuser actually won them that round, considering it put some pressure up on the remaining attackers who had to retake the site as the defenders had full control of it. Quick openings being made. Ooh, Rice just barely living there.
Good progress so far from MNM. They've got the breach open. They've got that line of sight coming in from Master Window. Mowgli is going to get himself out of there as well. He's going to look to fight another day. Goes back in for a little bit more, actually. He's just going to play on that concrete door at the minute. If he peeks out, he's likely to lose his life, though, as Nello is just holding the angle onto it. He's not going to allow him back forward. There's your opportunity, though. Rise manages to get himself another in the game. That's going to put him on 9-0 as he takes down users with a nice opener. And that is now Wolves 5 versus 4, halfway through the round. MNM have made good progress, but they've got a pulse underneath yet to be dealt with.
Oh, Tyrant about to be swung as well. Mowgli will find that kill. It's a double entry that we're seeing here from the side of Wolves. It's a 3-on-5. They need to try and salvage whatever is left now so they can still mount a bit of an attack. 70 seconds. There's plenty of time to do so, but Biba is currently scanning them out with a cardiac sensor. Should be aware of Solitov jumping in, but wasn't quite the case. Takes a lot of damage now. Mowgli will eventually get that kill. Brings it back to a 2-on-4 situation as it's only up to Neo now.
There's very little that MNM can do round to round here. Wolves are just running all over them right now. Every part of the map, Wolves are in charge, just finding kills at will a lot of the time, and there's just, as I say, very, very little that MNM can do to get themselves into it. It's going to be 5-0 now to Wolves as they just continue rolling over the MNM side. It's going to be trophy and statuary for their next defense. MNM are going to be hopeful that they can just get anything out of this half. Honestly, if they come away with one round here, I think they'll feel like they've got away with a robbery, because it doesn't even look like they should be having that.
I mean, at the start, it definitely looked like they could get quite close. Let's say those first 2 rounds, I wouldn't have been surprised if any of those 2 would have gone towards MNM, because they had quite a good fight. Everything after, though, completely shut down by Wolves. We head back towards the statuary and trophy. And let's see how this one will actually work out. We saw the opportunity last time, but it was Rise with the clutch in the end, with that pistol going over towards the trophy site, finding both. Something they surely do not want to let happen again, so Wolves might adapt to the attack that we saw last time with MNM. But at the same time, MNM might go for a bit of a change of plans as well, as they haven't been able to find any success yet. Now, what actually surprises me is the fact that we haven't seen a tactical timeout yet from MNM.
Exactly that. It's something MNM sort of feel like they wait until they're on the brink. They wait until that loss is staring them in the face, and then they break it down. We've seen it a couple of times now. BDS fell foul of it, and so did Rogue, where they get themselves to that match point. We have the now infamous MNM tactical timeout, where they come back, win every single round and turn it on its head, but you just feel like that's going to have to be a hell of a tactical timeout at this point. I don't know what you'd be saying with the way that Wolves are playing right now.
Tyrant's just going to...
They're just giving it away.
Okay, well, it just jumps in. No turning. I mean, you have a Gemini replicator, you got some drones.
That's it.
You could just
it's
use
even more It's even more unforgivable on the Iana.
You could just use any of your utility just to find out there's a player in art, but I guess not. Mowgli finds a second kill, does some damage towards Rise, however. Runs starting to come through, and users will find a kill. Rise finally taken out. The dreams of Fresh are crushed. There's no 12-0 coming, but maybe a 12-1 is on the board.
Fresh has been absolutely giggling on the other side of the studio. He's been loving what he's seeing. He was a big supporter of Rise last week and the work that he did, so he's very happy to see him having a more statistically impressive game this week, shall we say, rather than the hidden work that he did back in Playday 1. Neo going to get himself inside of 90 corridor here. MNM have a little bit of control, but they don't have the shots. That's the problem. Mowgli manages to win that fight out on the alibi. Going to find the headshot onto Nello. Uses his super low health here, so it really is going to potentially come down to Neo. Diffuser down on the ground. User's not really wanting to push forward and make a grab for it just yet because he knows he could be in peril if he does. He's going to try the challenge through on to the man Mowgli inside of Master Bedroom, but Mowgli knows he doesn't need to get overly aggressive here. He can let MNM try to play for this.
They need to go to the side at some point. 55 seconds as the Banshee slowing them down even more. Uses his position has been known. Grenades are being tossed in, but not quite released as of yet. User sneaks in, is instantly going to get injured. It's only up to Neo now in a 1-on-4 situation. A flawless half is literally about to be underway. Neo will find one more kill. The impact was tossed, not quite successful. The last smoke canister used as well. It's a 1-on-3, no air jabs left, but some flashbangs in pocket. Neo might be able to get something done here.
Likely an impactless kill, you would have thought, as he tries to push in and just look for more. All he can do is try to find himself some 1v1s at the minute, but the Wolves were certainly circling around the prey then, and they were able to shut him down from the opposite side. The kill comes in from Bibu in trophy, and that is going to be a 6-0 half for Wolves, and what a trophy it is for them to take out of the first stage of Villa. It's up to MNM now on the defence. They need a perfect half, and there it is, Hap. As I said, at 6-0 down, we see the MNM timeout.
A bit too late, if you ask me. So, I think it went wrong way before this round. I think round 3 would have been a good moment to call it. Round 4,
MNM, when facing match point, have got a very good record after taking timeouts. That's all I'm saying. It's going to have to be a hell of a timeout. That much we do know.
Yeah,
but
Fresh calls this the highlight of the game. Did you just say that? Yeah, he just said this is the highlight of the game so far for MNM.
Strong.
Just strong names or calls being made here. But yeah, no, they're definitely not doing too hot now, so I'm definitely hoping we see a bit of a change of pace for MNM, because otherwise we're definitely having an E well done quick, because we're like an hour in front of schedule with all these 7-1, 7-2s, and now possibly 7-0 up on the boards.
I tell you what, jokes aside, if MNM come and get 2 or 3 rounds in a row on defence now after that tactical timeout, Wolves are going to be sat there thinking, not this again. Not us. Please, not us.
Please spare us.
It's going to be, if MNM get 2 or 3 rounds after the timeout, it's going to be difficult for them to ignore that fact. Now they're heading into Aviator games. MNM will go for their first defence. Well, Hap, do you fancy seeing how this one finishes?
I just have a feeling Fabian really wants to play.
I don't know what gave you that idea.
I don't know.
Was it something he said?
It might have been.
Here we go. We are back in. It's 6-1 to Wolves up, and they are looking to close this one out. MNM are on the defence. They managed to get themselves the last round. It was the first round after the tactical timeout, and we know how pivotal those tactical timeouts have been for MNM in the recent past. So let's see if they can have the same sort of impact here. Kitchen and dining will be their site of choice, and they're going to have to hold on to that top floor as well.
How funny would it be? We get a rush, 10 seconds, round over.
How long did we wait? I think it was about 15 minutes.
No, we waited about 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Actually. Yeah, it's been a. Let me see. No, 30 actually.
Just
stalling for a half an hour.
Straight in for a 10-second rush.
Exactly. Rush coming in. Done. Right. Pack up. Pretty good sleep. Who knows? Either way, Wolves have 5 match points. 5 rounds where MNM cannot afford a slip up. At least not without a bigger slip up from the side of Wolves. And that puts up some big pressure on them. And that pressure could either be boosting your performance or could completely kill it.
Raz looks ready for business there. He was certainly energetic in his play, calm. He was seemed ready, and that's part of the problem here is, the players have had a bit of a break as well, and, they've got to keep that momentum going. It may be more difficult for MNM having won the last round than anything. It may be beneficial for them to just get on with things and to try and keep that rolling. But Wolves, they may well have gone off the boil as well. It's always interesting when we get back in after these breaks to see just exactly how everybody fares, and it is a bit of aggression coming in from Wolves. Solotov manages to get Shinka, but P4 and Mowgli, they go in, get a trade and get another, get a little bonus, and leave themselves now in a 4 versus 3 inside of the first minute. Users is still up there, and he's a little bit trapped potentially in the closet here, but do they know that he is there or not? Can they pinch him here, or is he going to get away?
I don't think they actually need him. He can be up there. It's just that Mowgli needs to be careful to not get himself dropped. They definitely don't know. He's going on his drone now. It's the perfect time to strike users. But it doesn't really seem to be aware, and that's the spot coming through now. There might actually be just a drop to come in as well. A jump out through the window. He missed his opportunity, but there's still some players up around the Astro. A free kill missed, however. An opportunity to bring it back towards 3-3, and with P4 still being up here, we will definitely be aware of the fact that a flank could occur at any given moment. But he's ready though. He's ready to strike and is ready and waiting for the sledge to come in and help. It's the kill to come through. Neo goes down. Still a player inside of the bedroom though. Gets one. Users finds a second. They were unaware. And that's a 2-on-2 now with one person on the side.
Big play from Users there. Beautiful trigger control not to challenge Mowgli initially. Mowgli nearly getting taken down by a Nitro as well. MNM might just be able to turn this around as Nello manages to find Bibu. And all of a sudden it's a 2v1 from a 4v2. Wolves might just have thrown this round away. They had a great opportunity built by some beautiful teamwork, but then they just didn't react quickly enough to that first Users kill. Mowgli is on about 10 HP here and just trying to get anything going inside a site. He knows that it's going to be tough, and he knows that MNM are just going to hold their angles here. They're just going to wait for the play to come from him. He is going to have to make this one happen. He takes a little pot shot through the soft wall. That's going to tell them exactly where he is. The challenge likely to come in from Users here. He's going to try to peek around the rotate. Doesn't find the angle onto the man. One behind the bomb. Chassis finds the kill. Nello shuts down the round, and that is going to be MNM clinging on for another one. 6-2.
Just the walk-in closet. Simple drone. And it would have been over. It would have been a 4 versus 1 in the end there. And with that, it could have been locked off. And as you see right now as well, Wolves, if they would be to lock it off in this current scoreline, would not be on that first seed due to round differential. MNM winning that one round is keeping them off it for now. Not that they will care that much, because it's a marathon. It's not just this game that will decide who is going to be getting into that first place. All Wolves needs to do is lock it off as soon as they possibly can, with as little risk as well. You do not want to give MNM hope. It's a dangerous thing.
Ultimately, you win every game, you go into the major.
Yeah.
They're not going to worry too much about round difference, as you say. It's, the priority is getting those 3 points. This, I was going to say, it could be an opportunity for them, but we see MNM go back up to trophy and statuary, and that could have been a very smart move from MNM that they've just played there. They went down to kitchen and dining, and if that is normally their third choice site, they've got it done, dusted, out of the way, and they can now have maybe 2 rounds back-to-back trophy statuary, AVG, and if those are strong sites for MNM, if they can hold on to them, it's 6-4, and it's like I said, that mental game starts coming into play. I joke about it, but the MNM tactical timeout, we've seen them do it a few times where they get it and they just win every single round after it. I don't know what the effect there is, but it certainly seems to happen, and it might just play into Wolves' mind a little bit if MNM can get these 2 top floor rounds done.
They could, but at the same time, these players had a 30-minute break as well. Every single bit of momentum that was there has completely been reset. We talked about during BDS game, or G2 game, or BDS game rather, sorry. You need to be a bit more snappy, but you cannot just change that in the middle of a game. You can definitely change that if you have a 30-minute timer that is running due to a technical issue. So with that, players that might have not been feeling too hot could have quickly done something to get themselves back up to speed with the rest of their team. That might allow them to actually carry some bit more momentum. Solotov with a good kill to Mowgli there. Finds him on a very, very long angle towards that master bedroom, and that is going to be a great entry.
Solotov on the entry has been certainly one of the positives for MNM so far tonight. He's had a good few of them, quite often finding Mowgli, and we know how influential a player Mowgli can be, and so taking him off the board early like that is always going to be a positive for MNM. 5 versus 4 as Rise tries to get himself in through the Wolf window. Not going to have an opportunity yet. Bibu does manage to get inside a study and can start working from that south side up towards site. Tyrant is going to need to be dealt with at the top of red stairs, but there is a second man there. P4 could join this push, and if he was to move through to maps, it then could be a little bit of a pinch. 1 from 90 elbow and 1 from maps.
For sure, grenades are being pulled, but nowhere quite to throw it yet. 70 seconds. They need to find Tyrant. He's going to go on a bit of a flank here towards the main stairs area. Now, they might have been aware some claymores have been set up, but he still has an opportunity to get up these main stairs, head into the study, and make a big, giant double kill for the side of MNM.
He's just making his way up there now. Bibu's well aware. He's been spotted out, and Bibu, he's just going to hold this angle now, but how far is Tyrant going to push it? And the point is here, if Tyrant just sits and waits, he's taking a man out of the round for what could be potentially crucial time here as we're down to 45 seconds. The longer he can hold on, Bibu's going to swing this. He knows that he's pushed up to the top. He's going to get his man, surely. There's the kill. 4v4 levels things up. They know they don't need to worry about the flank now. The rest of MNM are on site. Shinka, he's the only one really outside of the map. We've got Rise just about ready to hop in through Wolf window. Shinka looking to get himself potentially onto Astro Rappel, but Wolves need to get something moving. Beautiful nade from Rise. He's been holding on to that for the longest time. 4 versus 3 now. They're going to try and up nade. They're not going to have any success there by the looks of things. And Wolves, they need to get things moving. 12 seconds left to go. They need to think about a diffuser plant. Solotov manages to get the kill onto Rise. Here comes the kill though from Bibu, from P4. They can start putting that diffuser down. Bibu, you got to go for it. 2 seconds. It's all up to Nello to hold on. He's going to get his man surely, but no, the cover is there, and Wolves are able to get the win. 7-2, finishing off on trophy statuary.
Well played by the Wolves there. It was only a matter of time, you could almost say, as we had a bit of a tech issue trying to get back into it. 2 rounds is all that we saw. MNM not able to make the comeback happen. They got some rounds after that tactical timeout, but nothing more than 2. And Wolves will be on that top spot of the league at the end of this Playday.
Certainly will be. What a fantastic performance it has been from them. They are really shining under the new org so far in Stage 2 and bringing some excellent performances to bear. I cannot wait to watch this team each week at the minute. That is, you know, high praise for Wolves. I'm excited to see them in the server no matter who they're up against, because I know they're going to bring an exciting and very solid game plan that's going to win them more games.
I agree with you. They've definitely been doing well ever since they are under that Wolves banner. Let's see what is in store for them throughout the rest of the season. But that was the last game. Before we close, though, a quick break, then the analyst desk.